Well, hey, I'm Thomas Rhett. What's going on?
Well, I smoke and I fish, but not near enough to satisfy an itch of a girl.
So, thank you for having us, and I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in a very musical family. My uncle Rodney Atkins, my granddaddy Chet, and my brother Trace. So we all grew up in a pretty, I'm just kidding, but my dad Rhett, I grew up in a musical background, and you know, my dad growing up, he told me that before I was born, he used to put my mom's stomach up to the radio and make her stomach listen to Led Zeppelin. So
Baby, here I am, and I need something to do with my hands. I could play you a song.
You know, growing up, I went through a lot of different musical phases. You said you were a rock guy. In 7th grade, I dyed my hair black and joined a punk rock band called the High-Heeled Flip-Flops. And we had 2 records. We had the first record, and then we had the second one, was the Greatest Hits, and it was the exact same record as the first one. And so, you know, I went through a punk rock phase and kind of a screamo. I know you can't picture this by looking at me, but I went through like a screamo rocking phase, and somewhere around 10th grade, I think I found myself, and sort of still working on it. But
Top off in my Jeep, yeah, we can go for a ride, and I can drive with my knees out the hay best I can, but I need something to do with my hands. So maybe I could stick them in your pockets.
cover band that played like a lot of old rock and I guess modern country, like Aldine Church kind of stuff. And Dad had called me to come up in a show for a guy named Frankie Ballard downtown Nashville, and who I think is amazing, by the way. And so we loaded in my truck and pulled up to this building called 2nd Avenue Live, and we got a parking ticket as we were loading our gear in. That's how unlegit we were at this point in time. And we went and played the show, and there was a lot of music industry people there. And a guy named Ben Vaughn, who is my music publisher now, came up to me and told me that he thought I had something, and I'd never given it serious thought into going into music, but at this point it seemed extremely real. And so he offered me a developmental deal, like a publishing deal, and you can bet I'd order up a couple tallers and tell the waitress put them on my tab. Yeah, I'd be sure to let him do the talking. I got my first cut 4 months later on Aldine's last record called My Kind of Party, and I wrote that song with 2 other guys who had never had a cut before either, and it was just a really cool experience getting to do that. And I had 6 cuts last year on Major Artist Records, and I've made a total of $68 off of those songs. So I will probably frame that check rather than cash it. And then it wasn't too long after that where I started shopping around for record deals, and visited a lot of different labels, and finally ended up on Scott Borchetta's doorstep at the Big Machine label group, and I played him 3 songs and he signed me, and it was just like that. It's crazy. And now I'm proud to call myself a Valerie music artist, and a single will come out on Monday that you just heard. And I'm in the studio with a guy named Jay Joyce, who did all the Eric Church records. And you ever heard of Cage the Elephant? Rock band. He did Cage the Elephant, and he played a lot of guitar on Miranda Lambert's records. And he's a rock star. And we cut in his basement of his house, and it's like a dungeon down there. A lot of incense, cigarette smoke, and just darkness, kind of. So it enhanced the vibe a little bit. But yeah, I'd tell everyone, but no one would believe it. If I could have a beer with Jesus, and he can probably only stay for just a couple rounds, but I hope and pray he'd stay until we shut the whole place down, and ask him how'd you turn the other cheek to save a sorry soul like me. What's on the other side? Is Mom and Daddy alright? And if it ain't no trouble, tell them I said hi.
Yeah, I'd tell everyone, but no one would believe it if I could have a beer, oh Jesus. Yeah, I'd tell everyone, but no one would believe it if I could have a beer, oh Jesus.